I definitely wasn't able to remove the rear wheel by hand with the tire levers and, as I mentioned, I also had to balance the wheels. In the end, I went to a place with a special machine to have them change the tire. I wanted to do it myself, but I wasn't able to do it and they balanced them for me and the machine did nothing, about 15 minutes each time. The conclusion I've come to is that, in principle, it's not worth trying to do it by hand if you're only going to change the tires very occasionally, because doing it by hand is a bit of a hassle since the tire is hard and strong, and, well, it's done quite quickly with the machine. Well, now let's proceed with the assembly and see how to assemble them. Here we have the Virago without the wheels and we'll see step by step how to assemble them. One of the things I was going to do, which I told you about and which is important from my point of view, is to thoroughly clean the housing where the drum brake goes at the back, which is this one here. The first thing I'm going to do is thoroughly clean this housing. The next thing I'm going to do is thoroughly grease the front wheel axle and the rear wheel axle. I'm also going to grease them. Here I have them. I'm going to thoroughly grease the movement, this axle that moves the drum disc. Do you see? I mean, here when you press it, how it moves, I don't remember the technical name now, or this little tab that separates the shoes and with this it makes contact with the housing that I showed you and would break. I'm going to grease this part here a little bit. I'm going to grease this pinion. We said the two axles that are here. And once assembled, which we will see how to assemble, the last thing left for me to finish the maintenance of the Virago is to grease both the clutch cable, which does not return well, and the accelerator cable, which was not returning very well either. See? I give it full throttle and it takes a long time to return. I am going to thicken that up well. To clean the drum floor housing, I am going to use this product that is for carburetors, which I think will work very well. In fact, I don't know if you can see it, it has gone from being black to its original color with this product. Come on, it is coming out like gold. Look at the amount of dirt that comes off. Well, I will continue and continue. Another thing that I am going to do, taking advantage of the fact that I have disassembled the brake shoes, is to sand them because we are showing some. I don't know if you can see it well on camera. There are some areas that are very shiny and it may be that something is crystallized. This is one of the tasks that can be done to leave the drum disc shoes in perfect condition, sanding the first layer to remove all the crystallized part and leaving them in optimal condition. Then, I'm going to sand it a little bit and now we can see the result. I think you can see it quite well on camera. This is the part that I've sanded. You can see that it's matte, it no longer has any shine. And this is the other part that I haven't sanded yet and I think all the shine it has is visible. So, I think the difference is noticeable and it doesn't take even 3 minutes to leave it well conditioned, sanded and without sanding. It has to be done with fine sandpaper. Okay, both parts of the brake caliper are sanded, but I'm thinking that I'm going to do the comprehensive maintenance, since I have it disassembled and I don't know when I'm going to disassemble it again. So, what would be the comprehensive maintenance of the drum brake? Okay, so that would be to remove the calipers, Take them out of their housing and clean the entire interior of all the residue of the brake pad compound. That's one thing. And then another very important thing is to lubricate the axle. This axle that makes this movement, you have to lubricate it. To lubricate it, you have to remove this thing here, okay? This nut is disassembled and we would take out the lever, okay? So it would be the axle and the cam. You would have to remove the cam, okay? The only precaution that must be taken to remove the cam and grease the axle, you have to grease this axle, is to mark what its original position was. In this case, I don't know if you can see it, but here there is a point, and here there is another point on the axle that would have to be aligned. Therefore, it would already come marked from the factory. In this case it would not be necessary to mark it, but with a permanent marker you mark the position in such a way that, when it is reassembled in the exact position it was initially, okay? To remove the drum brake calipers, you move one to one side, the other to the other side and they come out. There is nothing else, there is no more problem. Okay? This would be the way to disassemble it. Do you see how dirty it is? And what we need to do is clean this dirt. I recommend doing it with water and neutral soap. I am going to do it again with what I did before, with the carburetor cleaner, which I think works very well. And also, at the moment I do not see any plastic seal here that could damage it, okay? And then I insist, I am going to put a little grease, lithium-based grease in this housing and remove the shaft all the way. Well, I'm going to do it. This is what it looks like once it's clean. I've already left it pretty decent. I could still look at it one more time, but all the residue and dust have already been removed and the little bit of black that's left will quickly get stained again. Also, I'm in a bit of a hurry because I don't have much time to finish today. Okay? So, what's left is to remove the cam and the shaft to grease the shaft. To remove the cam, simply loosen this hex wrench, which is 10. Okay, now I have it completely loosened and now with a little leverage it should come out. Let's do it. Since I was having a bit of trouble removing the cam with leverage, I used this small puller that I have. This is a car puller to remove the windshield wipers. And no, it comes out with a little turn, it came out the first time. Here is the shaft. Okay, so it's a matter of cleaning it a little and putting lithium grease on it. That's the maintenance that needs to be done. Okay, once it's greased, it's all about turning perfectly, well greased, we remove the excess lithium grease. Now I'll remove it with a piece of paper and it's about putting the pieces back in their position. This little piece comes with the corresponding flywheel in the valve. It has the position of this little arrow here and this here we had circle with circle, so that's where we're going to put it. And it fits perfectly. We already have the Neo circle with circle and now it's about tightening the screw, which I don't know where I left it. Okay, Once the housing where the brake caliper goes is clean, we have to put the brake caliper in. I've taken off my gloves because I don't want to
Y
stain
la
the part
parte
where the brake caliper goes.
donde
Okay.
va la pinza del freno, ¿vale?
To
Marca la
change its function.
distribución y cómo se coloca. Se sitúa
And how to
primero
put it
un
in,
lado
first one side is
y
placed and
luego
then
a
the other.
continuación el otro.
There we are. Let's
Vamos a
make sure
asegurarnos
it's
que quede
facing
bien
each other
centrado.
properly. There it
Está
is,
bien
well
centrado,
aligned.
bien
Well
acertado
aligned. And
y
now
bien
it's in
preciso.
place. Okay.
Y ahora,
And now it's
eh,
perfect.
perfecto, totalmente engrasado,
Totally greased and completely clean.
completamente limpio. Ahora,
Now to put it in
acomodamos.
place. Now I'm going to condition the crown a little.
La corona de serie es esta, ¿veis este
This standard
45?
crown, you see, is
Este
45 with
45
45 pinions,
millones.
right?
Y la
And the
condición de
conditioner that I'm
es
going to
engrasar el
do is put
litio aquí en la
lithium
parte
grease here on the bearing part
del
of the
rodillo,
axle.
¿vale? Echarle bastante porque nunca sobra.
Spray it a
Y
lot
es
because
una
there's
manera de
never too
asegurar
much, and it's a way of
de
ensuring that
que,
even though the
aunque
protector
el
is very
producto esté
humid,
sujeto a
the
humedad,
dust cover, the
luego haga
grease will
polvos,
protect the bearings quite a bit.
pues la grasa lo va a proteger bastante los rodamientos. Y este
And this
será
would be the
el
conditioning that needs to be
asegurarlo
done.
bastante
Just put a lot of
grasa
grease on the
rodamiento
inside of the bearing.
correcto. Y esto a mí los pilotos de campo siempre me han
And this,
dicho
the off-road pilots have
que
always
si se va
told
a
me that it's a
hacer, tiene que
task that should be
hacer lo
done
más
as
seguro
often as
posible, de
possible,
tener
to keep the
bien
bearings well greased.
engrasados los rodamientos.
Here we're going to put it on the axle part.
Y este sería el
And this would be the maintenance to do on the crown. Okay.